Hello everyone, today we'll be discussing probability. Let us consider real problems, just like can you make money playing the lottery? Let us calculate chances of winning. To do this, we need to learn some basic rules about probability. These rules are mainly just ways of formalizing basic common sense. Example, what are the chances that you get ahead when you toss a coin? What are the chances that you get combined total of 7 when you roll 2 dice? What is then probability? It is a field of mathematics that deals with chance. It is the likelihood or possibility of a certain event to occur or to happen. We have to know basic terminologies about probability. First, we must know what is an experiment. It is a situation involving chance or probability that leads to results called outcomes. An outcome, or a sample point, is the result of a single trial of an experiment. An event is one or more outcomes of an experiment. When you say mutually exclusive events, this is again one or more outcomes of an experiment. What do you mean by sample space? It is the set of all possible outcomes. Example, tossing a die. A number 6 was drawn. A number 3 was drawn. A number 8 cannot be drawn. 6, 3 are possible outcomes in the experiment. 8 is an impossible outcome in the experiment. How possible is that a queen is picked from a deck of cards? That queen is our event. How possible is that a jack or a king are picked from a deck of cards? Getting a jack or a king is our event. Rolling a die once, how possible is it that the score is less than 4? Getting a score less than 4 is our event. Let us have these examples. Our experiment is tossing a coin. Our outcome is getting a head and a tail. An event that the head will appear once. Another experiment, picking a letter from an envelope containing a vowel from an English alphabet. Our outcomes is getting an A, E, I, O, and U. Event a vowel is in the word probability is A, I, O. Another experiment, throwing a king from a well-shuffled deck of cards. There you go. Possible outcomes. Getting a king is 4. An event that the black king occur. There you got it. There are 2 possibilities. Another example, tossing a coin thrice. Here's our possible outcomes. And getting an event that at least 2 heads appear. You have 4. Another experiment, rolling a pair of dice. Possible outcomes. An event that the number 2 occur in either die. There are 11. An experiment of tossing a coin and then rolling a 6-sided die. We are now going to identify the sample space. using a tree diagram. So in tossing a coin, there are two possible outcomes, getting a head and a tail. Rolling the die, there are 6 possible outcomes. Combining those outcomes, the sample space has 12 outcomes. Let us draw a tree diagram showing the sample space of gender sequence of a family with 3 children. The first child could be a boy or girl. The second child could be a boy and a girl. And the third child could still be a boy or a girl. So we could have 3 boys, 2 boys and a girl, a boy, a girl, and a boy, a boy, a girl, and a girl, a girl, a boy, and a boy, or a girl, a boy, and a girl, a girl, and a boy, or 3 girls. How many sample space? 8. Let us list the sample space of 4 days of weather, whether it's sunny or rainy. There you go. There you go. Those are the sample space. How many? There are 16 different possibilities. What are the rules of probability? If E is an event, then the probability that E event will happen is denoted by P of E. The probability of an event is greater than or equal to 0 but is less than or equal to 1. The probability of an event is equal to 0 if and only if E is an impossible event. The probability of an event is equal to 1 if and only if E is a sure event. If E sub 1, E sub 2, E sub 3, until E sub n are the mutually exclusive events and form a partition events in a sample space S, then we have this example. The probability of getting a heart is equal to 13 over 52 equals 1/4. The probability of getting a diamond is equal to 13 over 52, which is still equal to 1/4. The probability of getting that one is equal to 13 over 52. That is the probability of getting a club. The probability of getting a spade is equal to 13 over 52. That is still equal to 1/4. The summation of getting the probability of events from 1 to n is equal to 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. That is equivalent to 1. If E and F are two events, then the probability of an event E union F is equal to the probability of that event E plus the probability of that event F minus the probability of event E intersection F. That probability of E union F means E or F will happen, E or F or both will happen, either E or F will happen, at least one of E and F will happen. The probability that E will not happen is given by the probability of E prime is equal to 1 minus the probability of E. Can probability be 0? Yes. Can probability be negative 2%? Of course no. There's no negative. Could that be 2.7? No, because it could never be greater than 1 that is 100%. Could that be 1/3? Yes. What do you mean by probability of an event? If in any experiment for which the sample space is S, and each element of the sample space occurs just as likely as another on any trial, the probability of an event occurring is given by the probability of an event is equal to the number of events over the number of sample space. Example, a coin is tossed. What is the probability that the head will fall? S is equal to, that is the sample space, to be a head or a tail. The event we're looking for is to get a head. N, which is the sample space, is 2. The N of the event is just 1. The probability of an event is equal to the event over the sample space. The probability of getting a head is equal to that event is 1, sample space is 2. The probability of getting a head is 1/2 or 0.5. Another example, if a card is drawn from a well-shuffled deck of 52 cards, what is the probability that it is a king of diamond? Sample space is combination of 52 taken one at a time. The event is getting a king of a diamond. The sample space, there are 52 cards. The number of event is just 1. What is the probability of getting a king of diamond? That is 1 over 52. That ends our lesson for today. Thank you for watching. See you around.